Hepinize merhaba dostlar. Hogwarts Legacy 2. bölümle karşınızdayız. Artık
I suppose some introductions are in order.
ortak salonumuzdayız. Şöyle göstereyim.
Starting Hogwarts in your 5th year.
Wonder where they're from. They're lucky they didn't end up as dragon.
Filmlerden falan bilmiyoruz. Kitaplarda yarım yamalak anlaşılıyordu.
Can I help you?
Slytherin'in ortak salonu gerçekten iyi ya.
You're the new 5th year. I'm Sebastian Sallow. Welcome to Slytherin.
Thank you.
Not everyone has a ministry escort to school.
He was a friend of Professor Fig's who merely joined us for the ride.
Still, impressive. Dreadful way to go, poor fellow. Glad you and Fig are all right.
Vallahi ejderhanın midesine gitti.
Professor Fig and I were lucky to escape with our lives.
Indeed. And how did you escape?
It's all still a bit of a blur, to be honest.
Didn't mean to press. You just get yourself settled. We can talk more later.
What book were you reading?
A spell book I picked up. Has a few interesting things, but not exactly what I was looking for. I'm sure you'll find out soon enough. But not every spell you may need can be found in our assigned textbooks.
Are you saying some spells aren't taught at Hogwarts? Which ones?
Seems I may have met a kindred spirit. That is a conversation for another time. It was good meeting you. Good luck today.
Bu arkadaşımızı hallet.
If you do that, you'll lose. Trust. Ugh, not going to move there, are you?
Here, watch this.
Don't say I didn't warn you. Checkmate. Told you.
Ya mutlu çocuğu.
They should have listened to me. Ah, I know who you are. You're the new
Kızımız
Slytherin,
Myrtle'a
the one who
benziyor
barged
kız.
in with
Gözlük
Professor
taksa.
Fig last night. Interesting tactic on your first day, taking all the attention away from the first years. I'm Imelda, by the way. Shame I wasn't with you in Fig. I could have lured that dragon away. My skills on a broom are legendary.
Olur.
Perhaps Professor Fig's friend would have survived if we'd had your help.
Precisely. Perhaps one of these days I'll show you a thing or two about flying. I can teach you more than Kogawa ever could. Speaking of which, I'd like to get in some time on my broom before classes.
Are you a keen Wizard chess fan? You knew that boy was going to lose the match.
Not really. Much too sedate a pastime for me. Also, it's simply not that challenging. The moves are always so obvious. Why does no one else see it?
Do you have a lot of time to
Bu
fly
abla
during school?
I
süpürgeci
make the
belli.
time. There's nothing like swerving through the spires of the castle and around the Quidditch pitch to clear the mind.
Goodbye, Imelda.
Bir ara
Next
birlikte
meeting,
uçarız artık. Ne diyeyim? Bu ablayı da hallettik. Bu arkadaşın duruşu çok tehlikeli.
I think I heard one. Doubt mermaids find us that interesting. Ah, based on all the chatter when you entered the common room, I'm guessing you're the new 5th year. I'm Ominous. Ominous Gaunt.
Nice to meet you, Ominous.
Well, you
Çocuk
certainly
manyak
had a
derecede
memorable
şeye
arrival.
benziyor bu arada. Bölüm yadigarları mıydı? Melez Prens miydi?
I'd much rather have arrived on time and without a dragon attack en route.
I'm sure.
Orada
How horrible.
Lord
I can only
Voldemort'un
imagine.
küçüklüğüne benziyor.
Well, it's good to have you in Slytherin.
Bu Felix
Do let me know if I can be
şişesini
of any help
aldığı
as you navigate your
sahnedeki.
first days here.
Acayip benziyor yani. Sarışın olmasa.
Were you expecting to be sorted into Slytherin?
Most certainly. My family on
Ya
my
da
father's
ışıktan
side are
dolayı mı öyle?
direct descendants of
Anladın mı?
Salazar Slytherin, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. Not something I'm especially proud of, mind you. He was obsessed with blood status, a pure-blood maniac. Unfortunately, most of his descendants do not fall far from that tree.
Did that student say he thought he heard a mermaid?
Yes, but I've never heard of a mermaid showing up outside our common room window. It is fun to play along, though. Been known to keep some first years on the lookout for hours.
Thank you, Ominous. Very nice to meet you.
Pleasure was all mine. Don't be a stranger.
Yok yok, sizdenim ben ya.
Is the new fifth year Slytherin in here? Professor Weasley's waiting for you just by the stairs.
Hadi gidelim bakalım.
Revelio.
Önce ama şu ortak salona bir bakalım. Açılıp bakılacak kutu var mı? Ara ara böyle yapmamız gerekli. Eğer oyunda bir para birimi varsa bunu bir şeyden dolayı koymuşlardır. O yüzden bakmamız gerekli. Evet.
Good morning. I trust you're ready for your first day at Hogwarts?
I've been
Hazırım
dreaming
hocam.
of this day for a long time. Can't believe I'm here.
Well, you are here. Make the most of it. You only have one first day at Hogwarts. Now, in light of your unique situation, joining us as a fifth year, you'll need to catch up with your classmates and not fall behind. Especially as you'll be expected to complete your OWLs at the end of the year.
OWLs? Owls?
Yes, your ordinary wizarding level exams. They will determine what type of career you can have when you leave here. After much discussion with the headmaster and the Department of Magical Education at the Ministry, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success.
Hop.
Here
Bu
you
ne?
are.
Harita falan mı?
What is it?
It is a wizard's field guide. It will help you to keep track of what you are learning so that you master all that's expected of a fifth year. You would be wise to take full advantage of this exceptionally valuable resource.
Thank you, Professor, but what do you mean it will keep track of what I'm learning?
Perhaps seeing it in action will answer any questions you may have. Walk with me and we shall put it to the test.
Hadi
This
bakalım.
way.
Revelio.
Mavi.
I certainly would have appreciated something like the field guide when I was a student. Using the guide will also train you to be alert to your surroundings.
Giriş çok iyi ya. Hocam yürü hadi
The
yürü
guide will
gözünü
give you
seveyim.
opportunities to practice your magic and educate yourself about wizarding lore. Do keep up. Why don't you cast Revelio
Revelio.
and see what details the field guide can provide?
Heykelle mi bahsediyor sadece? Mesajı. Ha. Mesela. Bunları kurcalarız ya.
Clever, isn't it?
Şu
Keep your eyes
neymiş?
open for more
Açılmıyor mu?
opportunities like that, inside and outside of the castle.
Biz şu hocayı halledelim. Etrafa bol bol bakarız. O ne lan öyle? Çocuk takılı kalmış girişte. Anladın mı? Bakta kaldı orada.
Ah, good timing. Perfect opportunity to show you how to use flue flames to get
flames.
around a bit quicker. Your field
Uçuş
guide
tozu değil mi
contains a
bu?
map of the castle. Open it up and find Central Hall.
Haritamızı açalım. Devam. Hop oraya gitti galiba.
And here we are. Quite the time saver. These stairs lead directly to Central Hall. You can get almost anywhere in the castle quickly from Central Hall.
Yani genellikle
Always something happening here.
koşturarak gitmeyi
It's the heart of the
tercih ederim
hive.
çünkü
Our King's
etrafta
Cross
keşfedilmeyi
Station,
bekleyen
so
bir
to
dünya
speak.
şey var yani.
That should be all for now. You'll be expected to attend both Charms and Defense Against the Dark Arts classes today. And I'd like to be sure you get to Hogsmeade as soon as possible to replace the supplies you lost on the way here.
What will I learn in Charms class?
Exactly what you might
Bütün
expect.
diyalogları okuyalım diye
Spells,
sırayla.
charms, jinxes.
Belki
all
ekstra bir şey
terribly
verir
useful.
ya da bir bilgi.
I think you will enjoy Professor Ronan. He's a clever and entertaining wizard and a talented teacher.
Can you tell me more about the Defense Against the Dark Arts class?
Defense Against the Dark Arts, as the name implies, focuses on how to defend oneself against the evils that lurk beyond these walls. A mastery of Defense Against the Dark Arts is required for those who aspire to become auras. Fortunately, we are lucky to have the ever-gifted Professor Hecat in charge of our students' education in that regard.
You mentioned Hogsmeade, Professor.
Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village in Britain and is home to an array of shops and pubs. You should be able to find all of the school supplies you require in Hogsmeade. You will also, I imagine, enjoy many a butterbeer there with friends in due course.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
A lot to absorb on your first day, and you have much to learn. Happily, your professors have agreed to create additional assignments for you outside of class. You'll be up to speed in no time. Judging by your adept use of Revelio earlier, I'd say Professor Fig succeeded in at least showing you the basics.
He did, Professor.
He's been terribly vague as to the events preceding your arrival, specifically about what happened after that awful dragon attack. My suspicion is that there's more to the story than a search for belongings and an extended trip up to the castle.
I'm sorry, Professor, but I'm afraid
Şimdi
that's all
diğer
there is to it.
Profesör Fig'e
Almost precisely what Professor Fig said. Speak of the devil, Professor Fig. Your ears
Aha, laf
must have been
soktu arada.
burning.
Oh?
Yes. You seem to have provided our new fifth year with a solid foundation in the basics of spellcasting.
Ah, I'm afraid I can't take all the credit there, Professor. They've a rare aptitude for magic, it seems.
Well, I'm just glad you both arrived in one piece. Perfectly good boats and carriages to Hogwarts, and you chose to fly in the path of a dragon.
I wouldn't say I chose the dragon's path, Professor. Rather unfortunately, it would seem that it chose us.
Very well. Enough chit-chat. I need to get to class myself. Might I rely on you, Professor Fig,
Tamam
to
hocam,
explain
artık
the
sal, gözünü
details of the
seveyim ya.
field guide's map?
Of course.
Thank you. Good luck today. And remember
Sağ ol,
to use
sağ
your
olasın.
field guide. It will be invaluable to you. And invaluable to me, as I'll be using it to keep up to date on your progress.
Yes, Professor.
Come and find me in my classroom after you've attended both classes today, and I'll explain more about those assignments I mentioned. And we'll see if we can't get you to Hogsmeade for those supplies.
Profesör Fig'le konuş.
It's good to see you, Professor.
And you. I was hoping our paths would cross today before you immersed yourself in studies. Did I hear you masterfully evade Professor Weasley's interrogation regarding our late arrival?
Yani
I did try to evade her
Evet,
questions,
aslında öyle
though I
oldu
feel a
yani.
little deceptive. That said, I'm fairly certain she suspects that we're not being entirely forthcoming.
Yes, well, Professor Weasley is a brilliant and astute witch. It was right to keep the details to yourself for now. We don't know where this path we've embarked upon will lead. It may require a bit more flexibility with your time than she would approve of. And she may feel obliged to share details with the headmaster that would be better left between us.
Understood, Professor.
Good. Now, as capable as you are, I believe the ability you possess obliges you to be well trained. Happily, you have the benefit of
saattir
an
konuşuyoruz burada.
exceptionally
Salonda
skilled team
gidelim
of witches
dersiniz o
and
zaman.
wizards to guide you. Speaking of guides, and so that I may avoid another not-so-subtle reproof from Professor Weasley, why don't I show you the clever enchantment we included in the field guide's map? Unfold it and have a look.
Haritayı açalım.
The map is enchanted to help you find your way.
This will be incredibly helpful. Thank you.
Now, sounds like you've quite a day ahead, what with classes and a trip to Hogsmeade for supplies, including your own wand. You'll enjoy Mr. Ollivander. He's an exceptional craftsman and a good friend. I shall reach out when I have more information about our mysterious locket. For now, focus on your classes and pay attention. More than your owls may hinge on the magic you are able to master within these walls.
Oldu, ben gideyim o zaman. Var mı burada bir şey? Var. O ne be? Allah Allah.
Revelio.
Bu ilk seferde mesela şeyde de kapılar açılışlarında da aynı şeyi yapıyor. Biraz bekletiyor.
Revelio.
Var mı bir şey? Böyle ara ara aklımıza geldikçe parıltıyı yapıp bakacağız yolumuza artık. Evet. Yine drop geliyor. Yine FPS. Hadi güzel.
Professor Hecat!
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces on your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge. To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity, especially in the heat of battle. Now, let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
Levioso.
Ara sahnelerde bazen oluyor ya. Bu FPS olayını
Now,
inşallah
let's try something a little larger.
çözülüyor ya. Böyle bir çekelim bakayım.
Let us begin with the basic cast. See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast. Remember? Good. Now, well done.
Hocam ben böyle sektirmeye devam ediyorum.
Very good. But the best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two. Duelists, take your marks.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Now, I want a fair duel using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
Leviosa. Nothing lucky about it. I know. Leviosa.
Class, I hope you're paying attention. That is how you cast Leviosa.
Let's just say I'm a
Maymun
quick
ettik
learner.
ya.
Not bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
Çocuğu da rezil ettim. Kanka bile
I
isteği
put you
olmadı
on
ya.
the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Slytherin.
Thank you, Professor Hecat. Glad to have the opportunity to practice.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you.
Bakalım işte.
I
kısmet.
demand excellence from my students. They are capable of achieving it, and they must achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments. All right.
Revelio.
That's enough spectacle for one day. Class is just...
If you know the right spells, it's dark wizards that'll fear you,
O ne lan?
not the other way around.
Always thought Levioso was for first years. Not anymore.
You dueled Sebastian. He's strong competition. Well done. I'd hate to face Professor Hecat in a duel.
Revelio.
Oh, I'm not much for dueling.
Nice work.
I enjoyed that.
Well, that duel was quite something. Everyone will be talking about it.
It was certainly good practice.
Practice? Felt more like I was dueling an expert. Didn't expect a new student to be so deft with a wand. Then again, perhaps this wasn't your first duel.
I've dueled enough. Consider yourself lucky I held back.
Huh.
Aha,
Fair enough.
çocuğa ukala
You owe me
bir
an
şey
honest duel when you
hamle yaptı.
asked. You know, you might be a perfect fit for a certain exclusive, unsanctioned dueling organization.
Exclusive and unsanctioned. Count me in.
Excellent. Knew I was right about you. If you want to get the most out of your time at Hogwarts, you're going to need to break the rules now and then. Whether it's joining a secret dueling club, or sneaking into the restricted section of the library, you just have to be clever enough not to get caught.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Perhaps somewhere unsanctioned? We'll see if your performance today was sheer luck or actual skill. Look for Luke and Brattleby near the clock tower entrance. If you're interested.
Tamam,
Till
o
next time.
yazdık kenara.
Revelio.
Handy
Right,
resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Ha, diğer yere gidiyoruz şimdi. Gördüm. Parşömenler var.
Revelio.
It was an accident.
Somebody have to remind
Some of us don't necessarily want him to get back to the lesson.
Life is so peaceful in the hamlet.
Here, behind you. There is an open seat here.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Nettie. So you are the new student. Have you met Professor Ronan yet?
Shall we begin? Welcome to year 5 of charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge. Right, now,
Hocam
everyone,
makine gibi
please
girdi
open
o
your
ya.
textbooks to page 517. But before we begin, can anyone here tell me the difference between the incantations of the color change and growth charms? Anyone? Anyone? Hmm? I am afraid it is too late to study now. My, the summer months must have really taken a toll on you all. By the looks of it, you all spent your holidays practicing Obliviate on one another. Do you even remember how to perform a basic summoning charm? Well, it seems that we are in dire need of review. Everyone get into pairs and take positions on opposite sides of the classroom. Now let's put those textbooks to use as the blunt objects you so believe they are, and take turns summoning them out of one another's hands. Only one book will be needed per partnership, Miss Dale. Thank you. Get into place now.
Akio. Hop.
That is not bad.
You are a swift learner. I see a lot of potential, but remember, potential is nothing without practice. Keep at it. You might just rival Miss Onai here. Very good, everyone. That's enough of that. Well, as you all seem to have the basics down, and it is an exceptionally lovely day, I was thinking that we might have ourselves a little excursion outside for a spot of fresh air. After me.
Dışarıya çıktık galiba.
I've always found that fun goes hand in hand with mastery, as I'm sure the Quidditch players amongst us would agree. So,
Yine patates oldu.
what better than a
Güzeldi.
bit of sport to put our prowess with the summoning charm to the test, right? So why don't we have our newest student start us off?
Sayıları var, üstünde mi tutacağız? Hadi bakalım.
Very simply, cast Accio on one of the spheres and relinquish your charm at the last. Splendid! Now, think of this. Happens to the best of us. That's it!
Çözdü.
Very good!
İşle gelmeden bırakıyoruz işte ya.
Very good! Points to Slytherin. But there's certainly no sport in playing without some friendly competition. Miss Onai, would you care to give our new student a bit of a challenge? Come on up.
Kız bizim kanka olacak galiba ya.
You'll be the
Aynı
blues
kız değil
just
mi?
as
Evet.
before, and Miss Onai, you are playing red. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Başlıyor. Hadi bakalım. Durdu mu?
Stay focused.
Here we go.
Peki şöyle bir şey yapsak.
You are not making this easy for me.
Yok artık ya. Aa, saydı bizimkini de.
There we go.
Saymamış. Ne yapalım aynısı.
I will get you back for that.
Çok pislik bir şey oldu, maç oldu ama. Kazanmak ne olursa olsun
Let us make
kazanmak.
this a bit more interesting, shall we?
Ne yapacağız daha hocam Allah aşkına?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
Hadi hadi.
I'll say.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it. This round settles it all.
Let us see this.
Güzel hamle. Ama bu daha güzel.
Splendid.
Here we go.
Vurmazsın değil mi? Bence de vurma. Sen zararlı çıkarsın. Durdu mu?
Quite impressive. Watch this.
Yani çekecektim ama.
Very good, both of you. Well done.
Evet, bir dersi daha bitirdik.
Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Good game back there. I must admit, I think I underestimated you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
That's good to hear. It's a lot to take in all at once.
To put it lightly, I remember how I felt when I first arrived. I transferred here from Ouagadougou just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
Is Ouagadougou much bigger than Hogwarts?
Ouagadougou School of
Bazı
Magic
karakterlerle
is the
sanki çok
largest
fazla
wizarding school
konuşuyoruz
in
ya.
the world.
Ha, bu karakterlerle
So yes,
belki
bigger than
yakınlaşacağızdır.
Hogwarts.
Yakın
But it
arkadaş
never seemed
olacağızdır. O yüzden
intimidating or
hani hikayenin
overwhelming to
gidişine
me. It
etkileyecek bir
always
şeyler
felt like
vardır.
home.
O yüzden onlar hakkında bilgi veriyorlardır ama yani...
Is Ouagadougou a castle, like Hogwarts?
Its address is Mountains of the Moon. It is not so much a castle as a beautiful edifice carved out of the mountainside.
Gibi geldi bana.
I remember the first time I saw it, the mist was so thick I could hardly make out anything at all. And then it just materialized before me, this enormous school that seemed to be floating in midair.
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Ouagadougou uses one.
Why?
You can cast spells without a wand?
Oh, yes. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive. Not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Ouagadougou, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. Ah, I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better
Hadi
not
bakalım,
keep
onunla
him
da
waiting.
konuşalım.
Until next time.
Of course.
Revelio.
Önce şu etrafı bir bakalım.
If you're so inclined.
Şurada bir sandık var. Ama
Well,
kilitli muhtemelen.
You'd be using.
After my brother learned the summoning charm, it was constant Accio this, Accio that, cutlery flying everywhere. Quite unsafe, really.
A word, if
Senin
you
abin de
would.
üşengeçliğe vurmuş kardeşim. Yukarıda bir şey var mı? Acaba bunları nasıl aşacağız? Fen profesör.
You
Konuş bakalım.
wanted to speak with me, Professor?
I did. I trust your first charms lesson lived up to expectation?
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? You did well, managing to best as gifted a student as Miss Onai.
Thank you, Professor. I enjoyed the match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon
büyülü sözler
regarding
yazıyor.
a special assignment that I am preparing for you.
Revelio.
Hiçbir şey yok mu ya buradan alabileceğimiz? Ben ne yapıyormuş?
Professor Ronan reminds me of my grandfather. Loads of wisdom, but a bit mad.
Revelio.
You're a student, aren't you?
Efendim?
Hello, you wanted to speak to me?
Samantha Dale. I've been eager to meet you. You're the student everyone's been whispering about.
O
Hope
bizim
your first
ünümüz
day's going
okula
well.
yayılmış
You
ya.
certainly seem to hold your own in charms.
I've been fortunate. Beginner's luck.
My brother William would tell you not to be so humble and to trust your abilities. Then again, he tends to be overconfident in his. Well, better see to my charms homework. I'm afraid I can't count on beginner's luck to impress Professor Ronan.
Revelio.
Sometimes I'm not fully sure.
Aha, şurada bir sandık.
The Minister for Magic was Albert Booth.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, what fun! I won't say my goodbyes. I shall cheer for the boy who says you're telling
I'm not
lies.
telling lies, Peeves. It was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't. It was Basil Flack.
Oh, thank
Şu muhabbetlerin nasıl olduğunu bir şekilde öğrenmem gerekiyor. Ona bir ara boş vaktimde kafa patlatırım yine. Şimdilik ikinci bölümünde sonuna gelmiş bulunmaktayız arkadaşlar. İzlediğiniz için teşekkür ediyorum. Bir sonraki bölümde görüşmek üzere. Kendinize iyi bakın. Hoşça kalın.